Welcome to the Studio 20 podcast. Today we're going to explain the home loan modification crisis by telling you Marcia's story.
My name is Marcia Jones. This is my home, and I'm just trying to keep it.
Before 2008, getting a mortgage for a new home was easy.
People were buying houses without putting any money down because they thought it would be their last chance to buy. A lot of people took on mortgages that they couldn't afford and signed documents that they didn't really understand.
So they move into their new homes, and before all the boxes are unpacked, a lot of them realized they couldn't even afford their first mortgage payment. In other words, they defaulted. And when millions of people started defaulting on their mortgages, we got into what we now call the housing crisis.
Steve Gillen, American Alliance of Home Modification Professionals.
What caused the process to collapse was depreciating real estate values and oversupply of new construction. The more foreclosures we have, the more real estate values go down. The more real estate values go down, the more foreclosures we have.
The government had to do something, so they created HAMP, the Home Affordable Modification Program.
This program offered banks financial incentive to help homeowners lower their mortgage payments to something that they could afford. This was called a loan modification. Except the banks didn't follow the rules, and people applying for loan modifications
Like Marcia.
kept slipping through the cracks.
I give them everything that they ask for, but it's still taking a long time.
Marcia bought her home in Brooklyn 9 years ago. And even though Marcia took 2 full-time jobs trying to make ends meet, she's been struggling to pay her mortgage.
So she applied for a loan modification, and it seemed she was a perfect candidate, but
It's just been one thing after another. Almost 3 years now since we were in the process of trying to get a modification.
3 years.
yeah, for 3 years, Marcia's been trying to get a loan modification. Technically, the bank was supposed to get back to her with a decision in 30 days, but they haven't done that.
We comply, and after weeks or a couple of months, they tell us we need more information. We get the information, we send it in. When they finally get back to us is another set of papers that they need.
The bank wants to see how much money you made in the last 2 to 3 months. And in the process, it then contacts the homeowner again and says, we need these documents again. One of the major problems in this process is they don't have the staffing available to actually complete the process.
Marcia's gone through about 8 financial managers just in the past 3 years. And these are people at the bank who are supposed to be guiding her through the process.
After years of waiting, Marcia is at the end of her rope.
I really don't know what the obstacle is. I think maybe they just want us to give up and then that would be it.
Francine McKenna is an accountant and a financial blogger.
I would probably bet that that's what the bank wants her to do, because I can't imagine over the last 3 years that they really want this to go through. They probably are just stringing her out until she wears out or she keels over.
The government hasn't enforced the rules of the loan modification program. Every day, hundreds of thousands of homeowners will face foreclosure.
All the time while I've grown up, the idea of home ownership was a goal. The idea that having a home and having equity in that home was sort of a safety net. That's been turned completely upside down now.
For the Studio 20 podcast, this is Chao
Din
And Assia.